Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Tuesday, December 7th, 2021, 3 p.m. Eastern. I want to remind everybody that the special call for Thursday with the new technology is on this same call. It's on the same numbers, same access numbers at 9 p.m. Eastern. So there's no different number. There's no special code or anything. It's the same that we use always on all of the calls. Gratitude for all of us, especially when things become really pulling, so to speak, externally. Everybody starts to become conditioned. They drop into a lower vibrational frequency. They're dismayed, disheveled. They become seduced by the external reality, which is the illusion, and they get pulled in. There are a plethora of things to be grateful for. How about your next breath of air? The trees, the sun, your friends, or delicious food. The list is endless. The abundance of this universe is mind-boggling. And it is all here, right now, for everyone to enjoy. So it's like, just go ahead, give zillions of deep praises to the universe and see what happens. Gratitude is so powerful that it'll lift you out of the muck, the crap, the disillusionment, the irritation, the fear, the stress, the anxiety, which a lot of people are experiencing right now. See, because so many of us believe that we are the body. It's difficult when a civilization has been trained, and gods have been trained, to believe that you're the body. And so everything affects you externally. And it doesn't mean that you're clear and you know everything, because we don't. But you kind of have a feeling that you know that the reason I'm feeling the way I'm feeling is because I choose to. Okay? And a lot of us are so used to feeling certain ways, especially with this unprecedented change on this planet. And of course, there's a lot of surface illusions that cause people to become, low frequency. And we know what happens. When we go in low frequency, we invite more low frequency. And that's what's so dangerous about it. And that's why it's so imperative. And a lot of people say, well, how do I not be that way? Well, it's got to come from the heart. If you do it from the ego mind, it's just going to get more and more frustrating. So it comes from the heart mind. You sit in a quiet place like we do with these meditations, where you're not going to be interrupted, and you focus on your breath. So you relax the body, and you move out of the ego mind and the subconscious mind. So the mind chatter leaves you, and it's quiet. And you focus on the breath and the God that you are. And you look at gratitude. You see, because the universe is flawless. So whatever it is that any of us, whatever mood we're in, whatever level we're in, we're going to attract more of it. There's no debating it, because it is an absolute universal fact. We will attract more of it because the universe thinks we want more of it, because we're in that low frequency, so we attract more of it. So the universe gives us more. It's the same with being in a high frequency of deep gratitude. Then the universe will give you more and a higher frequency of what you desire. And whatever it is you don't want, you're going to get. Whatever it is you want, you'll get. See, it doesn't make sense. You focus on what you want. And it's easy for any of us, because none of us are exempt. So we slip into it. We slip into that energy, and before long we're being just literally flooded with it. more negativity, more irritability, more stress, more fear, more anxiety. But it's good to know that all of us have this ability to focus on mastering our lives. Everything is energy. Once we know this, once we know it emphatically, everything is energy. That's all there is to it. It's simple. It isn't complicated. Match that frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. It can be no other way. This is not philosophy. This is physics, Albert Einstein. And he was right. This universe that we all live in is more intelligent than the mind can even come even near it, comprehend it at all. There are many hidden dimensions in everything and everyone within it. And we truly exist in the most fascinating, multidimensional, and infinitely mysterious field of conscious, intelligent energy. This divine harmonic matrix is vibrating with life all around us, always. It is inside us and is constantly connecting with our every breath, thought, emotion, and heartbeat. Just look around. Look around you. Everything is constantly exploding in an orgasm of wild, unabandoned creativity right now. Millions of flowers somewhere on this planet are blossoming, giving birth to the most amazing sights and scents. Amazing sacred geometric crystals are forming perfect patterns beneath the Earth's crust, while millions of animals and birds and insects and humans are having intercourse in the most interesting positions. This is just the tiny tip of the iceberg as to all the wild, mysterious, and beautiful things happening on this planet right now. When you observe nature long enough, you'll see everything is always changing, including all of us. We're talking about the bodies, not the God. It is said that we cannot step into the same river twice. And by the time we've stepped in it once, everything, including ourselves, is already completely different. When you wake up tomorrow morning, your body's going to be different. It's not going to be the same way it was the night before. This means we cannot have the exact same sequence of thought patterns and feelings that we had last month or last year or yesterday. Our mind and emotional intelligence is continuously growing, evolving and changing. We were born highly intelligent beings who were meant to outgrow the small trousers we once wore in the second grade. And truly, or dresses, or truly, we wouldn't really want to try putting them on again. If you take a microscope and look into the DNA inside every cell in your body, you will see that they all contain a sacred imprint that is unique to you. And each quantum particle of our DNA is this wild and uncharted, magnificent, intelligent mystery within it. This mysterious intelligence is embedded within the foundation of our blood, bones, and brain. We cannot escape from it, no matter how hard we would try. What's interesting, I find, is that the mind tends to take for granted this sacred mystery every day. The mind has this tendency to create habits, fall into these little comfort zones of thought and safe emotional thought patterns. It finds ideas which label life, placing ourselves and others into tiny compartmentalized little thought boxes. so we can feel more secure, self-assured, somewhat organized, standing the face of this wild, uncharted, infinite mystery that's surrounding us in all directions. The moment we put anything in this divine existence into a thought box, we forget all about enjoying a state of devotion and worship to the divine mystery, to the God that we are. The instant we forget about the great mystery of life, of this life, we initiate the suffering process. Every experience of this life thereafter becomes a challenge, as we live from the head and not from the heart. The mind is a master for all of us at continuously getting lost and believing all its inner thought structures are real. When our intellect holds tight onto fixed beliefs, it thinks life will feel more manageable, giving the illusion of control and the sensation that we are becoming wiser. Yet, this hard-coded know-it-all mindset demolishes our childlike curiosity and abolishes any form of reverence for this deeply sacred divine mystery. Curiosity has its own reason for existing. One cannot help but to be in awe when he contemplates the mysteries of eternity, of life, of the marvelous structure of reality. It is enough if one tries merely to comprehend a little of this mystery every day. Never lose a holy curiosity. Albert Einstein, he was right. One of the great mysteries that you may ever discover in this life is the human psyche. The human psyche is the accumulation of other people's thoughts, beliefs, and assumptions that we have adopted and inherited as our own. Remember that. One of the greatest mysteries that you may ever discover in this life is the human psyche. The human psyche is the accumulation of other people's thoughts, beliefs, and assumptions that we've adopted and inherited as our own. All these beliefs from the entire experience of ourselves, other people, this world, and our entire reality, the way we think, how we think, why we think this way and not that way, is the core network of our psyche and makes us behave more like predictable machines than alive cosmic organisms. The human psychic, however, has a magical side to it. And whatever we accept as the truth becomes that or what we actually manifest physically. And that whatever we accept as the truth becomes what we actually manifest physically into our lives. This may be one of the most awesome mysteries mankind has to explore. Our foundational belief structure is so powerful, pervasive, and penetrating that it always manifests itself in every single possible outcome and experience we have. This universe always supports whatever we believe. If deep down you believe you are not a lovable person, the universe will constantly manifest for you the most challenging people, negative situations, and experiences that support this belief inside. If you truly believe you are lovable, the universe will slather your life with sweet, loving beings devoted to caring about you, honoring you, and caring for your needs in the most intimate, vulnerable ways. The intelligent universal energy simply follows thought. Whatever you believe about you is where the energy flows and manifests into the entire show all around you. In this highly technological age, people these days tend to believe science easier than religion. If you can prove God is real in a lab, then it must be true. What's fascinating about this time frame in our lives is that the quantum physics of the world have ventured so deep into particles that they had to merge their scientific understanding within a spiritual context. Their practical Newtonian vocabulary doesn't have the words to explain the outrageous results they are finding. They are having to use more spiritual words and concepts to bridge the understanding of these hard-coded scientific results. For example, they have taken a two quantum particle that were spinning around each other and found a way to separate them by a few kilometers in distance. Later, they spun one of the particles counterclockwise and noticed that instantly the other particle that was kilometers away would also change spinning in this new direction. This study has been done many times with the same results. So they've concluded there exists some form of spiritual intelligence that is communicating between all quantum particles in this universe, no matter what physical distance is between them. Years ago, quantum physicists also proved in their labs that thoughts are actual physical measurable things. Scientists would observe a vacuum of space which had no particles in it, and they found that wherever the observers would place their attention, that was the place the particles would show up. They concluded through other more advanced studies that when the mind cultivates the ability to direct thought in one specific direction for an extended period of time, the person can physically attract, magnetize, and soon manifest an actual physical thing into their field of existence. It has been the 21st century for a while now, and the understanding that we are the manifesting magicians of the quantum soup of highly intelligent energy all around us has become an actual science in the quantum physics and the spiritually enlightened communities. The relationship between the mystic and the scientist were separated 500 years ago, give or take, and now the pendulum is swinging back towards their reunification again. It is our inherent curious nature to want to put labels on things, people, ourselves, and create a universal law of attraction that will solve this great manifesting mystery of life. We think that we have a more concrete global understanding of this life. Then we can relax and rest even deeper into our spiritual nature. Perhaps only a fool would believe that we need something external to let go and relax internally. Why would we need to feel inferior to being one with Mother Nature just so as to push away our insecurity and strive towards a need to feel superior? The human psyche, as I mentioned, is the greatest mystery of them all. All that we have to do is to give up identifying with the body with forms and limits, and then we shall know ourselves as the infinite self that we always are. Raman Rishi. Maybe, just maybe, when science creates a machine to find the source of consciousness, then mankind will feel like a god. Yet, why take the long road? Why not just look inside your source of consciousness itself and discover real evidence of where consciousness comes from? Realize what consciousness is made of and why it exists, and relax into the greatest innermost mystery of them all. I have a feeling that in order for our words to solve these deep, outrageous questions in the future, quantum physicists must merge completely with the metaphysical mindset. If modern science is to make any real progress, I'm guessing by now you're more interested in how your life can personally benefit from applying this enlightening path of understanding the great mystery. You want to know how understanding this metaphysical manifesting mystery can make your life easier and more abundant and healthy, loving, happy, and financially free. In order for you to have access to manifesting anything and everything that you desire in your life, all of us must choose to first start with believing in one basic foundational understanding. Whatever we continuously focus, our foundational understanding, whatever we continually focus our attention on grows, multiplies, and manifests automatically in our lives with the help of this natural, powerful, magnetic, manifesting intelligence that's inside everything. With all this amazing manifesting power already within each and every one of us, it's quite ironic that more people are not accessing. Many of us are stuck in jobs we don't like, relationships that we lose energy battling with every day. And we are either having some sort of food, drug, alcohol, or sex addiction that is taking priority over any real deep spiritual devotion and exploration. The basic reason for all human suffering here is simple. The mind keeps focusing on what we don't want and thus keeps manifesting more of the same. New thoughts rarely have space to form, and after 70, 80 years, the human being has wasted all its precious energy on magnetizing on what it doesn't want and doesn't have. The only reason we are not always manifesting everything that we want is because we cannot keep our mind focused long enough on feeling that they are receiving that one thing they truly desire to have. It's that simple. The only reason we are not always manifesting everything that we want is because we cannot keep our mind focused long enough on feeling that they are receiving that one thing they truly desire to have. Once we retrain the brain to stay focused, fiercely, deeply, and resolutely focused, we will become the manifesting masters of our world. When we practice meditation, we will one day attain mastery over our minds and actually reach a state of physical mastery over our physical world. Right now, the master is fast asleep, and the mind, the servant, is playing the role of master. And the servant is created by the outside world. It follows the outside world and its laws. Once your awareness becomes a flame, it burns up the whole slavery that the mind has created. There is no blissfulness more precious than freedom, than being a master of your own destiny. When it comes down to life-mind mastery, within the great mystery, it is all about discovering the source of pure awareness inside. This is that simple, obvious awareness that is always watching, listening, and experiencing everything in your life all the time. It is the light behind the movie screen of your mind, responsible for projecting the entire picture onto everything that you feel, sense, and see. It is responsible for shining a light on every single thought and feeling that you have about anything. It's always the source of what your experience is in every moment of your existence. We don't give awareness enough credit. We rarely recognize that it's there and hardly ever take the time to sit down with it and relax into the source of it. The reason we take awareness for granted is because it is ever present, always here now, just like the air we are breathing. Yet we think about it. What if awareness wasn't present anymore? What would happen to our lives? Who would we be without awareness? Who would exist if there were nobody to be aware of our existence anymore? And sure, these are some deep thoughts to contemplate. Yet when we do take the time to explore them, something magical happens. We start to become more in touch with this divine state of awareness. Whatever we focus on is what we experience more of, and eventually manifest into physical action and form. Whatever we meditate on results in who we are going to become tonight and tomorrow morning. As we become more aware of the infinite spiritual source of awareness inside, we become more connected with what's totally in charge of what we're magnetizing. We can see each thought fly by and see exactly how each one is attracting, creating, and designing how our entire lives unfold and manifest. It is only when we become conscious of this perfect divine play manifesting inside us and all around us that we stop fighting ourselves, each other, beating our heads against our inner emotional prison walls, when we stop pushing up against life and start appreciating that everything is an aspect of the great sacred mystery. We start resonating at a higher level of consciousness. We begin feeling more expansive when we wake up in the morning and greet the day with a childlike curiosity, creativity, and wonder. We do this because at the source of pure awareness, it's easy to realize that there truly are no actual prisons in this infinite quantum field of intelligent energy. Prisons are only limiting aspects of our highly creative imaginations. If you name me, you negate me. Kierkegaard. I find that on a karmic level, every person has a unique inner emotional prison, and that this is part of their unique soul's destiny. Every human came here to release the lie their soul was fed. They came to re-experience the feelings of being confused, rejected, abandoned, hated, suppressed, depressed, and stuck in order to transcend them all. We needed to step harder on the thorns hiding in our shoe in order to stop hiking up this great mountain and remove it with love. At some point, every day, we each run into some feeling of being stuck, blocked, or challenged by something or by someone. We feel limited, small, powerless, or suppressed from our full expression. Every human mind already has the program installed to throw itself into some emotional dumpster repeatedly. There are many little thorns hiding in our shoes that we are unaware of. Thus, something terrible happens in the outer world. We get dumped by a lover. We end up trashing our self-esteem, our love for life, our feeling of being empowered, and falling into some treacherous feeling of being locked up in an emotional prison we cannot escape from. All of this thorny karma we all carry may sound terribly depressing, yet it's good to remember that this universe, is more loving, mysterious, and intelligent than any of us could ever imagine. There is a very beautiful yet unobvious reason why this divine intelligent, deeply, eternally loving universe has set life up to throw each and every one of us through experiences of emotional pain, agony, and suffering. The reason is so that we stop everything we are doing and become deeply inspired to evolve in a spiritual dimension. The spiritual path is the only way we can all remove our thorns and break out of our thick mental and emotional prisons. The only problem is that the mind tends to get lazy and wrapped up in old habit and would never search for the keys to our spiritual freedom unless we felt deeply trapped, imprisoned, or stuck. The mind loves to create these emotional prison cells in the brain, as each one provides new fuel to blast off into a new experience of creativity, growth, evolution, movement, and eventually reach total liberation. So we all have these wonderfully perfect, prickly prisons constructed inside us. Each one is destined to create a deep yearning and desire to be free. We can reject this idea, ignore it, or accept it. Just notice what happens inside your body either way. This search for freedom is as much our destiny as the prisons we've placed ourselves in. There are no real enemies in this world. There are only imaginary shadows. The thorns in our shoes can be removed once we realize that they are also created by our own imaginations. We must choose to move beyond the mind, through the unconscious, righteous mind that believes it is aware, yet is truly ignorant and not worshiping the great mystery 24 hours a day. It is this ignorance that is our only real enemy, the mind that is deeply stuck in thought, in ego, and will only strive to create something new when some form of horrific pain, fear, or slavery begins bubbling up inside. And yes, the mind is imagining everything that we are experiencing right now. It is believing that our thoughts, beliefs, and all of our limitations are real. It is entertaining the feeling that being financially stuck is real, or that our relationships are never going to improve, or that we'll always live in the same house forever. It has this idea that whatever challenging life experience we are having right now just may be that way forever. The sensations of emotional imprisonment sure do feel real. Yet, when we step back from them, we see they are just a conglomeration of negative thoughts. When we step back from the mind with awareness, we can understand that we are the ones who have thrown ourselves into jail with our imaginations. From this awareness, then, we can step out of jail just with using our sweet, simple, yet all-powerful imaginations. One who knows the self has nothing more to do, nor has he any more thoughts. From then on, the infinite power will carry out all further actions that may be necessary for him. Ramana Maharshi. To acquire an out-of-jail pass, we must gift it to ourselves. We must accept that everything and everyone in this life is a part of this deep, sweet, holographic, infinite mystery. In this acceptance, we stop feeling limited. We see how our imagination is co-creating everything, designing this entire thing we deem as reality. Then, and only then, can we understand what it takes to be free. By knowing what is creating thought, we stop believing in all of its fantasies. We realize that any potential feeling of slavery is a choice from here on out. We understand that we always have the free will and choice and how we wish to interact and engage with any thought that enters the mind, and can keep it like a winning lottery ticket or toss it away like a used banana peel. So my invitation right now for all of us is to not hold on to any beliefs that show up about yourself, others, and this life. Choose the mystery over certainty, just because it is more exciting. It's simple. It's simply more interesting to not know than to know. When you're living within the mystery 24 hours a day, you suddenly find yourselves becoming spontaneous, free from hesitation, doubt, and barely have any fear. It requires all the courage you have to keep choosing the mystery over the normal way of being human. Yet, you're much more likely to experience your fears as some weird bubbling state of excitement than something you run from. You might even see your life as this wild, passionate birthing of random desires to engage and disengage from. Ultimately, it is a mystery how long or short your life is going to last. So why not start embracing it now? When we embrace the mystery as a way of living life, the mysterious way keeps us truly alive. We start abiding in a state of wonder and deep curiosity about everything. We stop defining who we are and start realizing that truly we are all actually indefinable. We start seeing amazing, intelligent energy is here now, directly in front of our eyes. Give love, deep eternal love, acceptance to those you encounter, and notice what happens. So if you will, go to the place where you're not going to be interrupted. I'm sure we all are. And the first thing that we care to do is relax our bodies. Take a moment, focus on your breath, and relax the body. The number one thing always is to relax the body. When you relax the body through your breath focusing in through the nose and out through the mouth, and you're not interrupted. You move yourself out of the ego mind and subconscious mind. Your chatter, the mind chatter that we all have, disappears. It's total silence. And you listen. And in that moment, all your stresses, fears, worries, anxieties, they vaporize. They disappear. Because you're not thinking, you're feeling. Now imagine in that state for a moment that you can fly, that your body is so light that you can fly. And you can fly anywhere you want. And the higher you fly, the more inspired you become. And you're not worried about falling. You're not stressing or fearing or worrying at all. Because you're feeling free. Completely free. And the wind, the air around your body is warm. It isn't cold. As the higher you go on this planet, the colder the air gets. But for some reason, it's warm. It's like a bubble of warmth around you. And you can fly anywhere in a blink of the eye. Picture that in your heart-mind. Because when you experience this, and you continually experience it, you are free. When you don't feel dragged down, if you don't feel like you're going to fall, start plummeting. And none of this is, you're not thinking anything. You're feeling. You're feeling the expansiveness of the universe. You're feeling the expansiveness of the God within that body. You realize that fears, stresses, worries, and anxieties are all connected to what? The ego mind, which is endless. Fear of not having. Fear of having. All of these things, they're illusions. They're all illusions. Every one of them. And the only thing that gives them power is you. So you can choose to be on this planet at this time, and you can choose to take a bath in the muck. Rub it in real good all over your face and hair, and it smells putrid. And imagine that. You're just taking a bath in it. And you're so heavy you can't fly. The body is so heavy, filled with anxiety and stress and fear and anger and hatred. So you're stuck in that putrid muck. That's the choice. That's the visual. Many are in that visual muck. Illusions. All of it's illusion. The only thing real is the body, the heart-mind. You're in the body. How was the body created? The body was created by pure consciousness. That's how powerful we all are. It is not even debatable. We have been totally tricked into believing that we're the body, that we're weak, frail, that when the body burns up in a matter of a handful of years, that we can't think for ourselves, we can't believe for ourselves, that everything's external. You see what happens when you've been the master all along? All of us have. And we got tricked into believing that we were the slave, the God and the body, that we were the slave. So you fly. You choose to fly. You don't care to be in that muck. You're not going to take a bath in it every single day, every waking moment. You're going to fly. All of your illusions of fear, anxiety, stress, worry, that the ego mind has created, which it does very well, are no longer affected. You are no longer affected because you understand you're the one creating it all. It's like funneling through pictures. You say, well, no, don't care to have that one. No, not that one. Yep, that one. Yeah, that one. You understand? You pick and choose. It doesn't pick and choose for you. You direct the universe. The universe will respond. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't get challenged. If we didn't get challenged, would it be ever any fun? If everything was a cherry on top of a sundae, would it be fun? Oh, yeah, at first. But after a while, all of us would get bored. Because we're super manifesting supreme beings. It's what we do. Who do you think created this world? We did. Who do you think created all of this external stuff? We did. And it's not perspective from a negative, it's a perspective of understanding how powerful we are. Now we know that we are the soul. We know that we are the God, the pure consciousness, in the body, right? And we also know that through the heart mind, whenever we want to relax the body, we can relax the body effortlessly. When the ego mind is at rest, when you are resting, you're in total relaxation. But then here's where you'll know when the ego mind awakens. Well, you can't relax. You can't keep doing this. You've got to get going. You've got to get things done. You've got to do this, 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 and this. And then that uneasiness comes in. And then the guilt comes in. That you're undeserving. You know, that you relaxed and you can't relax anymore and you've got to get going and you've got to get this done and that done. You see what happens? That's the ego mind poking you. Come on. Quit poking me. Well, come on, let's get going. We believe, all of us believe that we have to be doing all the time. Doing, getting, having. That's the ego mind. What's the heart mind? Doing nothing. Relaxing into the God that you are. Manifesting. Calling upon the universe to send you what you desire. And with it, we all know, with good is bad. With bad is good. So all the good things that we manifest, there are parts of them that aren't so good, like the responsibilities. We will master the understanding that the God within this body can heal this body any time in a blink of the eye. The majority of us just don't know that yet. And we don't know how to go about it. And remember, we are children. We are relearning all that we forgot. That's why taking that imagination, putting it front and center, polishing it off so it is just gleaming, is one of the first steps. Let your imagination soar. There are no limitations. The only limits are you. That's it. That's a proven fact. There's one grand creation in all existence and beyond. And guess what? We're all part of it. So we know that the soul in this body, in the bodies that we're in, is the God source, the kingdom of God, the everlasting, the divine perfection. We've got so many labels, we could just go on endlessly. However you deem the God within you. That's heaven. Heaven isn't a place. The God that you are is heaven. Do you know how that changes everything for all of us? That we no longer seek outside of ourselves. We're no longer on a mission to find out there the truth. That all along, the most divine perfection is you, the God that you are. You want to pray to your God? Pray to the God that you are. You want to communicate with the God that you are? Communicate with the God that you are. Go into relaxation. Focus on your breath. Listen. You can see and feel through your heart minds where this civilization is transforming to. Right now, right in this very moment, transforming to bliss, joy, prosperity, abundance, happiness. Because we're discovering that all that out there, we've just created for our entertainment. And most of us got carried away with it and forgot how powerful of gods that we are. You desire a wonderful, phenomenal, blissful life through the heart mind, and you're the master over the ego mind, you will definitely have it. Not even a smidgen of doubt. Total trust. So we are heaven, the body's earth, heaven on earth. We are consciously aware. When we talk about being consciously aware in these meditations, what we're actually talking about is that we are of and from the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal love. Gratitude, peace. That's what being consciously aware is. We know what we are from and who we are. So being consciously aware that every step we take on this planet is paradise. Literally. Not only that we shine our light 360 degrees outward, like in a continual span out. Flooding everything, blasting everything, all life, the highest supreme value in the universe with the deepest, purest, eternal love. If someone does you wrong, if you don't forgive the God that they are, then you aren't forgiving the God that you are. So if you were to take a trip off this planet, go out in sacredness of space, and you were to see this planet from afar, you would see that it glowed. Not only that, you would also notice all the lights around it in this universe would pale in comparison. So this is a God planet paradise that glows with 8 billion gods on it. Not all awake, not all parts of us are awake, but we're getting there. No race, no hurry, just discovery of the gods that we are. Now, we connect, we're always part of the rest of other gods that are consciously aware like we are. And that doesn't mean that the ones that aren't consciously aware aren't with us, because they're part of us. We are the grand creation. So that's all the light energy beings and all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever, beyond, and forever. And they come into gigaplexes. One gigaplex fills this universe with not even 1 square inch of sacred space to spare. They come in trillions of googolplexes from trillions of universes from every direction. But it doesn't matter. A billion trillion light years away, we are one. Remember that. There's no limitations on distance. We are the grand creation. All of us, everywhere. This is all the archangels, the cherubim, the seraphim, the archetypes. Ascended masters, Kuan Yin, Maitreya, Buddha, Lakshmi, Ganesh, Gaia, Saint Germain, Christ, El Morya, Abundantia, Pel, Thoth, Yahweh, Yeshua. This is the inhabitants of inner earth, hollow earth, Agartha, and beneath earth. This is all the galactic, celestials, and off-worlders. They're all of our loved ones who have ascended out of body in this lifetime and all lifetimes that we've inhabited. Everything. And nothing. Now, the archangels, they're the civilization that vibrate at a different frequency than we do. We don't see them like we see each other. I mean, they could pass us by, look like us, make a comment that will cause you to say that was an angel. And we meet with them, and we interact with them, but not all the time do we know. We're too preoccupied with the physical material world. But have you ever noticed that any time in your life where you were thinking, I need some help with this, and all of a sudden someone shows up out of clear blue? You really don't think anything of it. You say, oh, yeah, I really appreciate that. So they help you, and by the time you look back up, they're gone. That was an angel. And they have the same message. They deliver the same message, but it's delivered in so many different ways. So it's kind of like a challenge for us to decipher it. Isn't it absolutely magnificent, glorious, spectacular, phenomenal to be alive in these bodies? That's bliss. Because as gods, we don't taste, touch, feel, smile, laugh, cry, frown. We don't want. We don't have to have. You see? None of those things. We don't have greed, hatred, lust, anger, fear. None of that. That's all inherited through the physical form. You see how seducing these bodies are for us gods? And how some of us get so tied up with them that we forget that we are gods in the body. And we start thinking we're the body. That's why being in deep gratitude 24/7, no matter what's going on around you, is absolutely imperative. It'll make us around any one of us at any one time. In tens of thousands and tens of millions, because of their vibrational frequency, they can house a large number in a small area. And you want them to do that, ask them. They will, and you'll be in an ocean of bliss. Ascended masters, they've mastered ascending into physical form and mastered physical form. And they have mastered leaving physical form, holding pure consciousness God form. We have ascended into physical form, are in the process of mastering physical form, and we are creating our experiences to perfect our creation. Now, the galactics, off-worlders, and celestials, over 1,000 species travel through the solar system every day. Trillions throughout the universes every day. We're only familiar with a small group. Pleiadians, Sirians, Arcturians, Andromedans, Feline, Zeta Reticuli, Anunnaki, Nords, Greys, Draco, Reptilian, Golden Pyramid Avian. This particular group has been assisting us in our evolution. enlightenment, ascension, freeing ourselves from our own self-imposed bondage and our own self-imposed slavery. Now, the light energy beings, this planet, on it, in it, above it, below it, with the eyes that we have with these bodies, we only see 1% of what is. So the ones that we don't see them, and they come in color, shape, sizes, forms, configurations. We don't see them in the UV spectrum or the infrared spectrum. We don't see them. They are there. But we do interact with some of them. With this one particular group that we're familiar with, the fairies, the sprites, the elves, the gnomes, the dwarves, the trees, the trolls, the elementals, earth, air, water, fire, ether, wood, the mermaid, the dolphin, the whale, the pegasus, the unicorn, the centaur, the minotaur, many, many, many more. And would these bodies be able to carry us without water? No. Without air? No. We do have intimate interaction with the magics, the energies, another form of consciousness. Now, we're all gathered arm in arm, hand in hand, so to speak. And remember, we are all one. That's a definitive. Whether it's 1,000 billion trillion light years away, we're still all one. We're in full compassion, non-judgment, non-ego, non-negativity, stillness of mind, gentleness, kindness, generosity, non-judgment, humbleness, bliss, joy, peace, tranquility, benevolence, great prosperity, great abundance. We're all one. We're all God, and we're all love. And our God force love light energy is in all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. And it continues to intensify, and it continues to grow. We immediately form a circle of light around the equator of this planet Earth, Gaia, Arya, and this now. This light emanates from the God source, the kingdom of God. You, all of us. It is pure, deep, eternal love. It is so brilliant that it grays out the darkness of sacred space. It would take 1 billion trillion suns to even come close to its brightness. And we're flooding this planet. All life, the highest supreme value in the universe, non-stop, eternally. With the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest, deepest, purest of the purest, purest, eternal love. Gratitude and peace. We begin to ascend above the planet. We're immediately met with this massive ocean of glitter. And the only way to describe it, it's like a grand finale fireworks of existence display, a massive laser light show, and a ballroom mirrored globe that's 1 trillion times larger and 1 trillion times more intense, all going on together. And we're curious, so we enter the reflective points. And we notice these microscopic, tiny, etched little mirrors, so we enter them and we discover that all of us and all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever, are learning from each other, teaching each other constantly. We are never not learning, and we are never not teaching. We're either doing both or one or the other. And we do it constantly because we're Master Supreme Being creation. So it doesn't matter how a life is housed, right? If it's a bug on the wall, a spider on the floor, doesn't matter. Something is teaching us. A part of the gods that we are. It's a massive education of experience. It's fascinating. It's phenomenal. Deep gratitude that we have that. We're immediately met with the emerald green flaming healing light of Archangel Raphael. This is the column of light that we've created to remind us all that we all are the power of healing, that the day will come where we will be able to heal these bodies in the blink of the eye. Easy peasy. We are then met with the violet, blue, purple flaming light of Archangel Michael. This is a column of light that we created to remind us all of our omnipotent power, strength, and resolve. We are then met with the white fire. This is a column of light that we created to remind us all that we are imbued with a white fire armor, head to toe, inside and out, 24/7 infinity. This emanates from the kingdom of God within each and every one of us. It is the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal love, gratitude, and peace. And it can't be penetrated. Can't be affected by lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies. Can't be, no demon attachments, possessions. Nothing. They can't sustain themselves around such a high vibrational frequency. So they don't come near it, or they'll be vaporized. Yet, only you have the power that if you decide to lower your vibrational frequency low enough, unconsciously or consciously, through hatred, fear, anger, greed, envy, hurry, revenge, stress, dishonesty, you will create a breach in your white fire armor. Enough so to allow all lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies to come flooding in. Then demon possession, attachments, and many other things are possible. Now, if you do decide to do this, you're immediately met with a double column of light. The first part of this column of light is the purple transmuting flame. We created this to remind us all that we can bring in the purple transmuting flame. We can transmute all these lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies into neutral light substance, sending them to pure consciousness where they are, no more. The other part of that column of light is the violet ray. We created this part of the column of light to remind us all that we can bring in the violet ray. We can cleanse and purify the area where these lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies were, sealing the breach in our white fire armor, restoring our vibrational harmony of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal love, gratitude, and peace. We are then met with the golden white pink light. This is a column of light that we created to remind us all, the gods that we are in these bodies, that we are the sun. We are the sunlight. We are the sunsets. We are the sunrises. We are the oceans, the rivers, the lakes, the streams, the trees, the forests, the soils, the mountains, all the animals. We are everything. The rainbow, the rain, the clouds, the sky. So the next time you do view any of these, rainbow, mountain view, ocean view, river, lake, sunrise, sunsets, it's you, the God that you are. You're the divinity. You're the majesty. You're the beauty. You're the grandeur. Your creation. It is you. It's every one of us. Has been, always will be, ever, beyond, and forever. We continue to ascend above the planet, and as we do, some of us decide to step outside our physical form and hover effortlessly above them, if we're carrying physical form. Why do we do this? Well, because we can. We all can. Some of us choose to, some of us don't. We come in immediate contact with this massive crystalline light tower. We created this tower. It is larger than the solar system and beyond. In the center of the column, we see this golden white bowl of light. It is surrounded by an oblong sphere, and the golden white ball of light is surrounded by rings of light, multicolored, endless. They seem infinity. And they're all sending out this massive vapor. It's like a mist. And you can see that it's electrified. You can see sparks. And you can see reflections and glitter. And so, but it absorbs into us. And it is like a warm embrace that never ends. And the golden bowl of light is the highest of the highest high, the deepest of the deepest deepest, and the purest of the purest purest, eternal love. Then comes gratitude, peace, gentleness, kindness, generosity, humbleness, bliss, joy, tranquility, benevolence, great prosperity, great abundance, great well-being. And we discover that all of that is a reflection of each of us, the gods that we are. The grand creation. Now, the top of this tower, we designed it so the golden ocean can come cascading down 360 degrees, 24/7 infinity. As it's doing right now, flooding us all head to toe, inside and out. All life, the highest supreme value in the universe, on, in, above, and below this planet Earth, Gaia, Arya, and this now. This is the highest of the highest high, the deepest of the deepest deepest, the purest of the purest purest, eternal love. Now, we're drops of this golden ocean. We also hold the essence of this golden ocean. Golden ocean is a drops of the golden ocean. And the only illusion is separation. We see our meditative sphere. It's that center circle. We all created this sphere almost 4 years ago. It houses over 1,700 of our meditations and perpetual motion, the highest vibrational frequency, and they don't wane. They don't disappear. They intensify, they grow, and they expand. You can tap into them anytime you wish. If you are ever feeling stuck in this life, wanting to find the way, remember this. The mere intention of being still and silent has enough power in it to generate a complete awakening in your life, regardless of how deeply stuck you feel or think you are. I'll join you in meditation and return to close us out. Take an easy breath in through the nose, and an easy breath out of the mouth. Move easily and slowly. We must choose to always begin life in the here and now. This moment is truly inescapable. Every time we try to escape from the now, we suffer. And we immediately are tossed back into it with the feeling that we had some significant or insignificant experience of a past or future event. We call that fun. It's like, you call that fun? Me neither. Always remember, be here now, because you are. Stop believing in who you think you are, and just take 1 hour today to do nothing. Just relax into your body and be with whatever energy arises during this time. See what all is happening inside you today. Relax and rest. Give yourself permission to do absolutely nothing. And very soon, you will discover, all of us will, something truly amazing. The awesome divine being we all truly are. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night and the following morning. We will return here Wednesday, December 8th, 2021, 3 p.m. Eastern, to continue our Global Guided Meditation call, and 9 p.m. to continue our Time for Change call.